Right, we're going to have a quiz, and this quiz can be for everybody, adults, teachers, anybody who wants to take part. And question number 1, what is the largest volcano in the solar system? What is the largest volcano in the solar system? Question number 2, what colour is a greyhound? What colour is a greyhound? Question number 3. Which actor connects Bohemian Rhapsody, Wayne's World and Shrek? Which actor connects Bohemian Rhapsody, Wayne's World and Shrek? Question number 4. What is the name of a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides? What is the name of a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides? Question 5. Where does the word Easter come from? Where does the word Easter come from? Question number 6. What capital do you find in calcium sulfate hemihydrate? What capital would you find in calcium sulfate hemihydrate? Next question. Does the moon orbit the Earth or does the Earth orbit the moon? Does the moon orbit the Earth or does the Earth orbit the moon? Next question. What is the most commonly used noun? What noun is most commonly used? Right, next question. Why can Mr. Hesselman walk on water? Why can Mr. Hesselman walk on water? I mean deep water, pure water, and not sink in. He can just stand there. Why can Mr. Hesselman walk on water? Next one, here's a picture of a sunset. Where in this picture is the sun? Here's a picture of a sunset. Where in the picture is the sun? Now, next question. Here's a rectangle. What colour are you looking at in that rectangle? What colour are you looking at in this rectangle? Another one on colour. What colour is the moon? What colour is the moon? Next question. Who invented the chromatic scale? The chromatic scale is the musical scale which goes up in every semitone. It sounds like this. Who invented the chromatic scale? Next question, where does the mass of a tree come from? That matter which makes up a tree, I mean you could plant an acorn in the ground and many years later it's grown into a great big massive lump of wood. Where's the mass of that tree come from? Just 2 more questions to go. So, penultimate question. If a 40 kilogram boy went into a bigulator, which made him twice as big, how much would he weigh now? What would be the mass of the 40 kilogram boy after being bigulated times 2? And the last question, why do flamingos stand on one leg? Why do flamingos stand on one leg? Right, answers. What is the largest volcano in the solar system? The largest volcano in the solar system is Mons Olympus on the surface of Mars. Mons Olympus. What colour is a greyhound? Greyhounds come in lots of different colours, but the word greyhound comes from Greek hound, so they're not grey at all. Which actor connects Bohemian Rhapsody, Wayne's World and Shrek? Now, Bohemian Rhapsody, Wayne's World and Shrek all starred Mike Myers. That's Mike Myers.
Well, that's the kind of song teenagers can crank up the volume in their car and bang their heads to. Bohemian Rhapsody will never be that song.
Well, actually, that would be a giant. We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
What is the name of a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides? Okay, a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides is a rhombus. 4 equal sides? A rhombus, not necessarily a square. Where does the word Easter come from? Easter comes from the name of the pagan goddess Oestra. She was celebrated at springtime in a festival for new life. What capital do you find in calcium sulfate hemihydrate? So, calcium sulfate hemihydrate is plaster of Paris. Plaster of Paris. Now, does the moon orbit the Earth or the Earth orbit the moon? In fact, they orbit each other. Rather like a hammer thrower going round and round in a circle, the hammer will largely orbit the shot putter, but the shot putter will also wobble around the middle, so they orbit each other. What is the most commonly used noun? Now, the most common noun in English is time. Apparently, it's the 50th most commonly used word, but the most commonly used noun. Why can Mr. Hesselman walk on water? How come Mr. Hesselman can walk on water? Deep water, pure water, without sinking in at all. He can walk across the top nice and slowly. In fact, you can too. Anybody can walk along water. Ice. Water is a solid, liquid, or a gas. So when it's a solid, it's ice, and anybody can walk across the surface of ice. Where in this picture is the sun? So where is the sun in this picture? It looks like it's sitting on the horizon, but it's not. When the sun is just sitting on the horizon, it's actually just set. The sun is just below the horizon. The light from the sun is refracted, that's bent around the atmosphere, like a lens. So it comes from below the horizon and it appears to be just sitting on the horizon, when in fact it's just set. What colour are you looking at in that rectangle? Right, this rectangle you're looking at here, you're looking at red and green. If you look very, very closely at your screen, you will see there's no yellow dots. There's only red, green and blue, and red and green together appear yellow. What colour is the moon? The moon is, well, nearly black, the colour of perhaps charcoal or tarmac. It looks bright and white and shiny in the dark night sky because of the bright sun shining on it against the black background. But actually it's a very, very dark grey, probably sort of charcoal colour. Who invented the chromatic scale? The chromatic scale was probably invented by Pythagoras, the ancient Greek philosopher. He realised if strings were plucked and stopped at different points, they would produce the harmonic series, which sounds like this. From that, he developed our music. All the notes for our music come from the chromatic scale. Where does the mass of a tree come from? The mass of a tree comes from largely the carbon dioxide in the air. Photosynthesis uses energy from the sunlight to change carbon dioxide and water into sugars, which ultimately get turned into the wood. Now, this 40-kilogram boy going into the bigulator, he's been made twice as big. So he's going to be twice as tall, twice as wide, and twice as deep. His volume, and therefore his mass, is going to be 8 times as big. 8 times 40 kilograms gives you 320 kilograms. That's nearly a third of a ton. And finally, why does a flamingo stand on one leg? Well, it's half asleep. It's sleeping half of its brain and half of its body at a time, keeping the other half open and alert, looking out for predators. Once half has had a good rest, it'll swap and sleep the other half of the body. Right, give yourself a score. I hope you've enjoyed the test and look up these facts, they might all be wrong.